Hello? Oh no! Is it working now? Oh no. I'm so bad at this. Oh crap. Oh no. Thank you for I should have looked way sooner. Imagine if I had gone through the whole article not realizing the sound. Oh, I tested the mic before I went live and it was like, it's working just fine. But then I realized I didn't um, add my audio to the live. Oh, how embarrassing. 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in. Good, I'm laughing because that's so silly. Oh, geez. Okay, well, hi. um, let's start over. Oh, and there's no way to edit this once it goes live on my channel. It's not like I can cut out the first few minutes. Whoops. Oh boy. Okay, hi. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Netflix trans stuff. Dang it. Okay. Let's try this again. So I will share the screen and I guess I'll do a little split screen again like I usually do because that's the only way I know how to. Anyway. Okay, hi. Let's do this again. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. So, starting over. Netflix trans employees and allies release a list of demands ahead of the walkout. This is by Zoe Schiffer from October 18th, so it's about 2 weeks old. It's on theverge.com. So yeah, some of this stuff is kind of a little bit old news because, like I said, it's about 2 weeks old, but that's okay. I just wanted to talk about it because it's a little bit silly. Okay, the Trans Employee Resource Group at Netflix has released a list of demands for the company ahead of Wednesday's walkout. We want the company to adopt measures in the areas of content investment, employee relations and safety, and harm reduction, all of which are necessary to avoid future instances of platforming transphobia and hate speech. Employees wrote in a press release, which has not been made public, but was supplied to The Verge. The news comes after weeks of controversy due to Netflix executives continuing to support Dave Chappelle in his comedy special, The Closer, which many LGBTQ people and allies have criticized as transphobic. If you were watching earlier, I said no. It's the TQ people that have criticized it. Any actual gay person I know that has seen The Closer, whatever. They didn't have much of an issue. I mean, we all know, maybe we don't all know, but if you know Dave Chappelle, and I do, I have seen all of his work, you kind of know or should know what you're getting into. And there's going to be some off-color commentary and stuff that's going to make you raise your eyebrows. And you have to know that going into it because otherwise, yeah. Yes, Dave Chappelle says some misogynistic stuff. He says some lesbophobic stuff. He says some homophobic stuff. That's not I don't excuse that, but that's Dave Chappelle and you got to know what you're getting into, right? Okay. So yeah, it's the TQ who are having a big problem with Dave Chappelle. Last week, Netflix fired a leader of the trans ERG who was helping to organize the walkout. The company said this worker had leaked confidential information. Internally, that reasoning has been disputed. While the conversation has become mired in a culture wars dispute over censorship and hate speech, none of the demands involve taking down the comedy special. That's surprising to me because very often they do want to censor you. I wish they'd stop lumping us together too. Employees want Netflix to allow the trans ERG to take on a bigger role in internal conversations surrounding potentially harmful content, hire trans and non-binary executives, and eliminate imagery of transphobic content in the office. This one confuses me. Eliminate imagery of transphobic content. What do they mean by that? Like, I'm sure no one like has, I don't know. I don't know what that could possibly mean. But here we are. Read the full letter from Netflix employees below. Here we go into the fuckery. Over the past few weeks, it has become clear that there are many places where Netflix still has to grow when it comes to content relating to the trans and non-binary community. The Trans Employee Resource Group, which includes trans and non-binary colleagues as well as our numerous allies, wants Netflix to immediately take the steps below to begin to repair the relationship between the company, our colleagues, and our audience. I mean, to repair the relationship is funny to me because this is capitalism, baby. There is no relationship between a corporation and the workers, not in capitalism. So that's just funny to me. Hi, Michelle. Specifically, we want the company to adopt measures in the areas of content investment, employee relations and safety, and harm reduction, all of which are necessary to avoid future instances of platforming transphobia and hate speech, and to account for the harm we have caused and will continue to cause until the below measures are put in place. I can't say I have ever seen hate speech on Netflix. Hate speech. That one is wild to me. Netflix does not platform transphobia and hate speech. This is ridiculous. Their first demands are content investment. They want to create a new fund to specifically develop trans and non-binary talent. Okay. This fund should support both above the line and below the line talent. This fund should exist in addition to the existing Creative Equity Fund. Increase investment in trans and non-binary content on Netflix comparable to our total investment in transphobic content, including marketing and production. Our total investment in transphobic content. It's like the wording in this is so ridiculous because nobody at Netflix in any board meeting is sitting there talking about investing in transphobic content or how can we get more transphobia on the platform. The language, we all know this, that the TQ use is always inflammatory and ridiculous. Invest in multiple trans creators to make both scripted and unscripted programs across genres. Okay. Somebody being trans or not trans really has no impact, in my opinion, on the quality of content, necessarily anyway. I can watch something, if something's a good show or movie, it doesn't really matter if it was made by somebody who's trans or not. And further to that point, somebody being trans isn't going to make the content good. So, okay. They must revise the internal processes on commissioning and releasing potential harmful, sensitive content, including but not limited to involving parties who are a part of the subject community and can speak to potential harm or consulting with third-party experts or vendors. This one kind of drives me crazy because that is tiptoeing into censorship. If you have to consult with somebody about whether or not it's potentially harmful, I don't like that. I've said it before, I'm a free speech absolutist, so I believe in free speech always, no matter what. Even if something is horrifically misogynistic or lesbophobic or racist or whatever, free speech has to exist with no conditions. We've talked about this before on a live, I think, except for things like yelling bomb on an airplane or fire in a theater. We all know the exceptions. But what I'm talking about is a person should really be able to express their views and their perspective in whatever way they see fit, even if you, we, lots of people don't like it. That has to remain like a pillar of society. That just has to. Moving on, they want to increase the ERG role in conversations around potentially harmful content and ensure we have the best-in-class regional support on complicated intersectional diversity issues. Okay, fine. Hire trans and non-binary content executives, especially BIPOC, in leading positions. For anyone who doesn't know, this is Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Okay, like I said before, somebody being trans or non-binary or of a different ethnicity to you doesn't mean the content will be good. So hire the best person. If the best person happens to be trans or non-binary or BIPOC, then great, hire them, please. Whatever. Employee relations and safety. I love when they use the word safety. As if Netflix is an unsafe environment to work in. Recruit trans people, especially BIPOC, for leadership roles in the company. The acronym for all non-white people is bothersome too. Sophia, are you referring to BIPOC? I would be interested in you expanding on that thought in the comments. Allow employees to remove themselves from previous company promotional content. Okay. I mean, if you signed a release to have your image used, then you're kind of hooped there, right? I think. Eliminate references or imagery of transphobic titles or talent inside of the workplace, including but not limited to murals, posters, room names, swag. I see what they're getting at. This was what I was confused about before. So I guess, yeah, if the Netflix office has a poster of Dave Chappelle, they want it gone. Transphobic titles. What, name a transphobic title of a show or movie on Netflix. Like, I'm pretty sure Netflix doesn't have anything called The Tranny or whatever. Like, But this is censorship. This is censorship for sure, which I never will ever agree with, ever. So, no to this one. Harm reduction. Swag is referring to like gifts or stuff given to people. Like sometimes promotional material will send like, or production companies will send promotional material places. So Netflix might receive like a bunch of posters that employees can take home, or I don't know, pens, or I don't know, that kind of stuff. Anything related to transphobia they want removed. Okay, let's just quickly go to Sophia's comment here. Yes, I am. I think it's a problem because there are conflicts between groups of POC. Even among, say, African immigrants and African Americans, there are conflicts. It's the same with LGBT. Okay, I am not a person of color. I am white, so I'm not gonna, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on that really, but I definitely can agree that there obviously would be different, what's the word I'm looking for? Different experiences, different, what is the word? Not difficulties, not obstructions, barriers. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. And challenges experienced by different ethnic minorities. So I can understand that for sure, yeah. Let's move on to harm reduction. Acknowledge the harm and Netflix responsibility for this harm from transphobic content, and in particular, challenges. Thank you, Lisa Michelle. Okay. Acknowledge the harm and Netflix's responsibility for this harm from transphobic content, and in particular, harm to the Black trans community. why in particular to the Black trans community? Is it just because Dave Chappelle himself is Black? I don't think in The Closer or any of his previous specials that he has specifically talked about a race of trans people. So, okay. Add a disclaimer before transphobic titles that specifically flag transphobic language, misogyny, homophobia, hate speech, etc. as required. So I guess this is asking for, when you start something on Netflix, it might say at the top left corner, coarse language, gore, violence. Just giving you a heads up what's in the episode. They want something, I guess, that will say what? Transphobia? But see, this is hard because I was going to say, who decides what's transphobic? But they want Netflix to hire a bunch of people who will indeed decide that. So I guess I shot myself in the foot there with that one. Boost promotion for disclosure and other trans-affirming titles in the platform. Boost promotion for disclosure and other trans-affirming titles. So they want Netflix to specifically promote trans-affirming content on Netflix, which I kind of feel like Netflix does already. Not that they're like super, super, super woke or anything, but they have like gender diverse characters on some of their content. The fucking Babysitters Club show had a trans kid on it. Lots of their stuff is gendery. So I don't know. What are they talking about here? Suggest trans affirming content alongside and after content flagged as anti-trans. This one is wild. So it's like this one particularly, I think, is a little bit culty. If somebody searches up Dave Chappelle's comedy on Netflix, they want the suggested content to be something very pro-trans, and then after it, they want the suggested content for the whole like, if you liked this, watch that whole thing. They want it to then be trans affirming, which is brainwashy and culty. I think they want Netflix to specifically recommend content that follows their own moral agenda, which is weird. I don't like that. Anyway, they continue on. We are employees, but we are members too. We believe that this company can and must do better in our quest to entertain the world, and that the way forward must include more diverse voices in order to avoid causing more harm. Again, what is the harm? You can talk forever about the things that they don't like. They can talk forever about how they feel about the content, but you can't specifically name any harm that Dave Chappelle has caused to trans people via his Netflix specials. Dave Chappelle has not done anything to trans people. So what harm has been done? Feelings hurt? That's not harm. The Trans ERG looks forward to working with the company to make this a better, more entertaining place for us all. Sincerely, Trans Netflix. Okay. So this was wild and very silly. I have really taken a liking to calling trans nonsense silly lately because I think it's funny. Because I don't take it seriously. It's just all very silly. Controlling much. Talk about entitlement. Honestly, yeah. The list of demands, some are fine, like the suggestions to hire trans and non-binary creators. That's fine. If they make good content, then yes, they should get the job. If they are good producers, then yes, they should get the job. Them being trans or non-binary really, I don't think it should be a factor, but they do. And this, I guess this is close to, this is like tiptoeing on the line of, um, why am I at a loss for words today? Hi, Amy. Like the diversity quotas, I guess. Um, I don't think a person should be hired at any job just because they make a check in a diversity quota box. If you're the right person for the job, you should get the job. Um, uh, yeah, hiring people at Netflix to make content just because they're trans or non-binary, which is meaningless, um, is not going to equate to good content just because they're trans or non-binary. Um, what about female quotas? Well, um, I think a male female equality is fine because females represent 52% of, the majority of the population. So, yeah, female and male quotas should be fine. But I just think hiring people based on their fucking personal life is bullshit. I don't want my job to hire me so that they can ensure that they have a gay person on staff. Like, that's fucking weird. Am I good at the job or not? It doesn't matter that I'm a lesbian. So, yeah, when it comes to gendery stuff, there doesn't need to be a quota, I don't think. The root cause of lack of diversity should be dealt with way before the job stage, like early childhood education. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So trans Netflix's list of demands were really super silly. And I think, yeah, it's just full of censorship again. They made a point to say, like, we don't want you to take Dave Chappelle down off the platform, but they want to censor the art that can go in the building. They want to censor the material that's in conference rooms. They want to censor like a bunch of stuff, and censorship can never be it. Same with acting. Just because they belong to a certain demographic doesn't imply good acting. Yeah, I agree. I also am not really like, I don't like the whole thing that's going on right now. It's like only gay people should be playing gay characters. No, good actors should be playing these characters. I don't care if a straight woman is playing a lesbian on TV. Does she honor the character? Does she play the character well? Does she take the character's life seriously? That's all that really matters. Now, obviously, when this comes to like the whole Scarlett Johansson thing where she was going to play a Japanese character, like, no, that character is specifically Japanese. That is a race. A Japanese person should play that character. But when it's something like, I don't know, when it's something like homosexuality, I don't really care who plays a gay person on TV. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would agree with that, obviously. Um, when you have like uh, what was that movie? Moonlight. Um, that was like like a specifically Black gay man experience, and that should obviously come from an authentic place and not someone else. But things like that, sure, yeah, I would agree. Who the fuck is John Money? I don't know what this means. um, yeah, it's so funny because no, Netflix isn't going anywhere. Um, They pretty much have a monopoly on streaming. Oh, what do I know? I don't know anything. I would have an issue with. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know his name, but yes, I know who that is. Where am I? Yeah, a man playing a lesbian obviously would be fucked up because that's yeah, but a straight woman playing a lesbian, I don't have a problem with that. Um I never ever watched an episode of the L Word, but I know lots of straight women are in the cast. Um what's her face on that Rooney Mara, is that who it is in the movie Carol playing a lesbian? Uh I don't care. There's two straight women who play lesbians on The Walking Dead. Don't care. Yeah. Like when men play lesbians in real life. I know. I encounter that all the time. I go through this cycle of like downloading Tinder and then I'll open it and I'll be on there for like 20 minutes and then I'm like, ugh, and I delete the app immediately for like another 4 months and then I re-download Tinder, repeat the cycle over and over again. And the last time I did this, um, uh, the last time I did this, I opened Tinder for the first time, and the first person it showed me was a man being. Oh man. I was like, are you kidding me? Uh okay, in literature. Gotcha. Yeah, the way men write women is can be pretty cringe for sure. I've always heard this referenced, but I've never seen an episode of The L Word. I think when the L Word was at the height of its powers, so was the show Queer as Folk. And you were either in Camp L Word or Camp Queer as Folk, and I was a Queer as Folk person. So I never ever saw the L Word, and I'm certainly not going to watch the new one. So that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. And I made a video. There's a video about this on my channel actually, about the new reiteration of the L Word. I think I called it the L Word not for lesbians or something along those lines. But I read the article that the showrunners like put out just before it was coming out about how it was created as a direct response to TERF lesbians. So I made up my mind then and there that I would never give it a second of my time. Ugh. Yeah. So that's that. Sometimes straight women write lesbian relationships like straight ones. There are rare exceptions. Uh, that is true, I'm sure. I can't really think of any examples off the top of my head, but I'm happy to hear it if you have any. I saw a headline about Judith Butler the other day. Let me find it because my last live we talked about Judith Butler and how nuts she is. Uh, the headline was Judith Butler correctly says TERFs are fascists, angering TERFs. Oh, that made me laugh. Judith said, it makes no sense for gender critical feminists to ally with reactionary powers in targeting trans, non binary, and genderqueer people. Anti gender ideology is one of the dominant strains of fascism in our times. Oh, Judith, what would we do without her? Have less headaches, I suppose. Oh dear. Oh, this is interesting. I just now read Headline: America's first gender-neutral passport has finally been issued. The U.S. State Department reported on Wednesday that it has issued the first passport with an X gender marker after the Biden administration announced plans to roll out gender-neutral passports earlier this year. Yikes. The first non-binary person to be issued an X marker on their passport was reportedly Dana Zim, spelt, Lord have mercy, spelt ZZYYM, Dana Zim. Oh boy. Okay. Have I been watching Exclusive? No, I don't know who that is or what that is. Someone in my comments said they were desperate to understand trans stuff and they were reading Judith Butler to figure it out. I was like, oh no, honey. No. Judith Butler, well, we all know she's a whole incomprehensible. You cannot learn about trans stuff via Judith Butler. My goodness. I don't know who this is. Why is it hard to watch her? What does she make videos about? Hello, Joan. Oh my goodness. Okay, so confession time. I don't watch a lot of radical feminists on YouTube. I watch Lisa Michelle because she's my favorite. And that's it. That's not it. I mean, I'm subscribed to tons of women, and when or if a video looks interesting to me, I watch it. But I do not have enough hours in the day to watch every video that comes across my subscription page. So I stick to Lisa Michelle and Jonquil Jones, Peak Trans, Feminist Heretics, Plebity. I'm thinking of Plebity. Never mind. Plebity, Radical Responses are like my go-to ones. And then if something else is interesting, I will watch it, certainly. But what a mood. Yeah, I watch, like, I can't watch every video that's on my subscription feed. If it seems interesting to me or it catches my attention, I will. But otherwise, no, except for a select few I watch every single thing they put up. There's a couple of those. Yes, Jonquil is lovely. Brutally honest, shows and tells the consequences of surgery and medications. I see. That's good. Not up my alley though, because I'm not so much focused on that stuff as much as I am more like other areas of radical feminism. I also just can't consume that much trans related stuff. I don't know how some people don't get so burnt out when they're constantly and only raging on about surgery and hormones. I would burn out so fast. I have to have a variety. I just have to. Yeah. But yeah. So it's Saturday. How come all of you are here and not doing something fun on a Saturday? I'm here because I'm boring and old and I don't do anything ever except for go to work and come home and watch Netflix, ironically. But this is going to be my first Halloween in my new house tomorrow, obviously. And I'm going to hand out candy to trick-or-treaters. So that will be fun. And this neighborhood I now live in gets a lot of kids. So I'm looking forward to that. And seeing all the cute costumes. It's late. Went out to a weird Halloween show in someone's garden, watched a film. Now I'm off to bed. Seem a little older than you young pup. I'm 33 and a half. It's not that young anymore. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. What is this? What are those? Oh, candies. Yeah, I'm gonna hand out candy. I'm excited. I always like to see people. So where I lived last Halloween, I would get a couple of kids and even some teenagers, and people were always like, "Oh, you're too old to be trick or treating." But I was like, "There's way worse stuff teenagers could be up to on a nighttime. I don't know. There's way worse mischief they could be getting into. So if they want to dress up and trick or treat, I say let them. I'll give candy to anyone who's wearing a costume, even if it was a grown adult. I would." Yeah, the UK and Australia really and New Zealand really don't do Halloween like we do in North America. It is so fun. There's so many houses on my street decorated. It's really cute. It's a big deal. It's fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then I took Monday morning off work. So I'm going to go to work in the afternoon only. That will be nice. Oh, Rudy, that is really nice. People who are too afraid to like or subscribe still watch. That is incredibly kind. I don't, people don't have to like and subscribe at all. Is if they want to just watch, that's great, and I appreciate it. That's very nice. Thank you. Aw. Thank you for sticking to your values. I appreciate that. I have always been incredibly hard-headed, and sometimes that's a good thing, and I don't know, I guess sometimes it's not a good thing. But I'm stubborn in a good way, I think, and just that I am really committed to what I believe in. And I'm not easily swayed. If there's good evidence to change my opinion on something, then sure. I am not so stubborn that I wouldn't be persuaded by good evidence, but I can't not stick to my values, I think. And when I became a radical feminist, it was like the world opened up right before my eyes, and I could never, ever go back to how it was before I knew what radical feminism was. Like, sometimes my friends and I talk about, like, if you could go back to before you knew what radical feminism was and you were just like blissfully unaware and living your life, would you take that? And I don't think I would. As painful as it can be to be a radical feminist, I think I would rather live with the pain of knowing than go along unknowingly. So, yeah, radical feminism is incredibly special and important to me. And I practice it in my daily life. I don't just make videos on the internet. So it's a really important piece of my heart and soul. Yeah. You can't unsee what you've seen. That's exactly true. And that's something that like really confuses me when I've seen a couple instances really of women who were radical feminists in some way or in whatever capacity they could be, but then kind of turned their back and said, "Oh no, actually I don't believe any of this anymore." And I'm like, how? Like that Phoebe gal from the UK who was on YouTube making great videos, and then now all of a sudden she is identifying as a trans man named Alex. I'm like, what? How? I could never just go back. I couldn't. I could never. Yeah. Part of me says yes, but same. I'd rather live with it because despite everything, I would be hating myself now if I didn't understand it, and that's a lot. This is a great, great comment. Because where you said you'd be hating yourself now, I relate so much. Like, I have never liked myself more than, like, since becoming a radical feminist. Like, prior to radical feminism, I had a lot of internalized hatred, um, angst about my body, angst about how I looked, angst about my social status. And the more years I get into radical feminism, the less I care about any of that stuff. And I'm at a place where now, I mean, and I'm sure some of this comes with age as well, but I just don't care at all anymore. Um, I don't care what people think of me, if people think about me. It's great. And I credit that a lot to radical feminism, but then I suppose some to age too and life experience. Totally. Yeah, making videos, even if you don't do tons outside of it, is really valuable. I agree. I do think that a radical feminist should practice what she preaches, but that can look different in a lot of different ways. So, yeah, making videos is great. I think we would miss out on real sisterhood. There are benefits, amazing ones. Yes. I also, it's kind of funny because radical feminism did bring me real sisterhood with lots of women, but it also taught me what sisterhood is not with lots of women. And I think that is an important thing to note as well. Yes, it brings sisterhood, but it also teaches what sisterhood isn't and never was. And when you realize that, it's really freeing, really freeing. 50 plus years of radical feminist, getting more so all the time. Well, I can only hope that will be me one day. Can I do math? I'm 8 years in to radical feminism now. Um, uh, so 42 years to go until I hit 50. That'll make me 75. Yeah, I hope to get more knowledgeable, more radical, more woman centered, even though pretty much my life is entirely woman centered right now. Woman centered, woman identified. And it's all because of radical feminism. I wish there was, well, okay. Sometimes I wish there was a more approachable way to present radical feminism to more women who wouldn't immediately write it off as transphobic and evil and turfy. But on the flip side, I also don't have that in me to soften it up and make it gentle and more presentable. I just don't. And I appreciate that there are women who do have that in them and who do present radical feminism in a way that maybe doesn't look like radical feminism, but I don't have that in me. I'm too far gone. Black pill is the next phase. I'm getting there. Not good. No, no, no. Radical feminism really helped change my perspective on myself and other women. Yep. Me too. Me too. Some for the better, a lot for the better, some for the worse, though. Um, because for me, I guess once I saw the light, like we said above, I couldn't unsee it. And so it's hard for me when um, women can see or be told or read all the things we're talking about and reject it. How can they reject it? Because I couldn't. And so to me, that's really hard to accept, but I'm trying out here. That's very kind, Lisa Michelle. Thank you. I sometimes I think I'm mean or too aggressive or too serious, but I can't not be. I just can't not be. I'm not a mean person like in my life. Like I'm a nice person. I'm polite and friendly and fairly quiet and very nice, I think. But when it comes to radical feminism and my YouTube channel, I can be a little bit mean. But I have to be. Radical women are the only ones who've gotten anything done ever. That's right. That's right. And actually, this Dragon Fox is a great point, especially in the way that I use the word radical in radical feminism. Because for me, I've said this 1,000 times, radical does mean to the root from the Latin word. But radical also means a holistic change. It means, let's read it from the dictionary. Radical definition. It means relating to or affecting the fundamental nature of something, advocating or based on thorough or complete political or social change. That is the primary definition of radical that I work off when it comes to radical feminism. So, when you think about radical women with that definition, like even just going back to the suffragettes, for example, it was a radical action for a woman to want to vote, advocating or based on the thorough or complete social change. Those women upended the entire way society was structured by insisting that women were persons. So, yeah, I use radical in this way, not necessarily in the to the root way. So, I really appreciated this comment. I think the fact that almost every woman understands the truth before you tell it gives you a huge open door. Getting too specific is what closes it. That said, I haven't figured out exactly what to say yet, and if they already by gender, they're probably gone, but most women haven't. Maybe. Um, I bought gender a little bit in the early 2010s. I wasn't a trans activist, but I did say things like, not everyone with a penis is a man, or some women have penises. But then my eyes were opened in 2013, and I think it can be done. I mean, it has to, because lots of women here even they became radical feminists after a time of being liberal feminists. I mean, the thing that everyone talks about all the time is their peak trans moment. I don't have one of those because I became a radical feminist before that was even a concept, but women are quote unquote peaking all the time. By gender as a choice, fair. Suffragettes did it right after the men stopped burning them in witch trials, honestly. I read the book, what's it called? I read a book on my YouTube channel, an entire book, Witches, Midwives, and Nurses, in parts, but I read the whole book on my YouTube channel because it's a short book, but it's a good read. And it is a really great breakdown of the witch trials in Europe and the origins of the medical professions and the women who dominated them until men did, of course. Second wave was all about ending stereotypes, but never saying women were the same as men. For fuck's sake, yeah. Talking about regular women, though, in other countries, other lifestyles who don't know the depth of this yet. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yes. Oh, what have we got here? A troll. Good Lord. I blocked the troll. Don't worry. Okay. Troll alert, yeah. Oh, hey, Pale Blue Dot. Hello. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, like, it's been said by people much smarter than I am that this is such a Western concept, right? The whole gender stuff. It's such a white Western people privileged concept. So this goes back to what Rudy was saying. When it comes to quote unquote regular women in other countries and other lifestyles, yeah. Radical feminism to them probably is the most natural. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about that. But hello. Well, someone in mom's basement must have been. Whoops. YouTube doesn't want us to think freely. Yeah, we know that's the truth. Lisa Michelle's most recent video, within like seconds of it being live, it was like a shadow banned or whatever. Not shadow banned, but like what do they call it, Lisa? I don't know. Her new video is great, by the way. Everyone should go watch it. After I wrap this up, which I will be doing soon because we're at 57 minutes and I usually stay here for about an hour and 10 minutes. So I probably will wrap. Yeah, I'm going to go look right now. YouTube. Hold on. What does it say? YouTube has marked this video for low visibility. For example, they will not be recommending it because it's too controversial, is what. They don't promote it because it was demonetized. There we go. Yeah, it's so funny. I am like so close to being eligible for monetization, but I know the instant I become eligible, like I'll be immediately demonetized. So what's the point? But I don't make videos to make money, so it's fine. But it's just funny to think about. I don't understand how something that was seen as completely sexist a few years ago, gendered toys for boys and girls, for example, is now seen as something progressive. I'll never get over the brainwashing. Yeah, I know. We've gone like 180 degrees. Things used to be non-gendered, or, a boy can play with a Barbie or wear a princess dress, but it used to be that didn't make them gay, but now it not only doesn't make them gay, it makes them the opposite sex somehow. That is weird. That is very weird. Years and years and years ago, I worked in a daycare, and we had little boys who played with the princess dresses all the time, and like little girls who played at like the little like hammers and tools station all the time, and no one cared literally at all. But now today they would see that as a sign that this boy is actually a girl, which is really shocking and awful. The word that yeah, I have seen some YouTubers, like, when they're editing, they will just silence out the word, the demonetization word. Maybe that helps. I don't know. I did one time see a list of all of the words that will get you demonetized, and some of them were really like not that, they were really insignificant, or so I thought. Yeah, for sure. Like in the 80s, particularly, gender bending was like, yeah, a real thing. And it was, yeah, fun and playful, like you said. I'm going to try and find that list that I saw. Let's see. It was like a Excel spreadsheet or something, I think. Oh, this was easy. Here it is. I don't know if that works as a URL, but well, why don't we? Okay, let's. I was going to say, let's look at the list of demonetization words together. If it will load. Okay. Let's share the screen. And we'll go like this and like this, and then we'll zoom in. Oh, this is really small. Why is it so little? YouTube demonetized words. 13. Why? Free the nipple, change the channel. Me too. Me too. Ugh, I know. Comments always get deleted on mine, and it's like I got a notification, and then I'm like, oh, I can't see it because it's been deleted by the YouTube gods. So these are some of the words that are demonetized. Okay, so, oh, wait. Green is monetized, yellow is demonetized words. Okay, free the nipple. Okay, that makes sense. Nudity. 18 plus, 1488, that's good. 8chan. Abortion. Interesting. What do the stars represent? Results have changed, maybe? Okay. Yeah, there is like a hidden comments tab for Rhea. But YouTube also will just like point blank remove comments from your channel if they detect words like certain keywords. They don't even go into the hidden comments channel. They're just gone, completely gone, and you can never know what it was or what it said. And that's incredibly frustrating. It happens to me a lot when I like reply to people. When I reply to comments on my own videos, my own comments on my own videos, and I'll type like a really great reply and it's like 3 or 4 lines and I'll post it and it looks good. And then I come back like a few minutes later and it's just gone, like totally gone. The algorithm just destroyed it. And so like then I try to retype it again, but like I'll try to censor the words I think maybe the algorithm has picked up on, and they still catch it and it's gone again. And then eventually I just give up. Silent voice, hi. We're going over the list of YouTube demonetized words. This was not what this video was meant to be about. We were going to talk about Netflix, but here we go. So yeah, abortion, abortions, abuser, abusing, abusive. All the words you can't say on YouTube if you don't want to be demonetized. Oh, this list is way too long. We're not going to go through it all. Sorry. Never mind. I posted the link in the chat so you guys can look at it if you want. There may not be any bad words either. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, if you use the word men, for sure your comment is going to be disappeared. So often we'll do things like men. We'll do things like that. If you use and males is getting banned. So we'll try like males. We'll try things like that. Males. All the adjectives that describe male sexuality are banned. That's true too. Yep. Yeah, it's really hard. Like, you have to be so careful with what you say, which is fucked up. Censorship. It's awful. That's a good way to get around it, actually. That's a really good way. Yeah. That's the world we live in right now, though. I had a video of mine completely removed by YouTube for being hate speech, even though it wasn't. And so I put it up on BitChute instead. It's just annoying that YouTube censors us in this way. Even using the star, the at, and words to disguise them is getting picked up now. I have noticed that a little bit, yeah. It sucks. Big time. It sucks. Males. Oh, man. Okay, well, we're at an hour and 6 minutes, and that's when I usually cut off most of my lives always, is an hour and 6 minutes. So, I don't know. I don't have much else to talk about. We talked about Netflix, which is what I wanted to do. And then we chit-chatted, and I don't know. Unless anyone has anything else they want to bring up. Yeah. Then I don't have a lot else to say. I got my first troll today. Does that mean I've made it now? That was exciting. Not really, but I've never had that happen before. Which is wild because I post that I'm gonna do a YouTube live on Spinster and my Instagram, which is private. And I don't post it really anywhere else. So I don't know how that person found us, but so they did. Anyway, it's noble now to hate women. White women, Karens, TERFs, white feminists, cis women. Everything males do is blamed on women. That's exactly right. Yep. That's exactly right. Okay, yeah. I'm going to wrap this up. It feels weird to continue talking about myself for too long. So about an hour is all I can take. And yeah, sorry about the first 10 minutes or first 5 minutes where there was no audio. How embarrassing. It's going to be a funny thing to see on my channel. Okay. Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone. You too. Have a great weekend. Happy Halloween. Eat some candy. Watch a spooky movie. Eat some pumpkin seeds. And I'm going to go now. Have a good night. Bye.